And here we go. Monday, November 15th, 2021. Armani and Edwards. The bottom line, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards. And will you stop that, Tom Nazaway? Jeez. Let me say this first and foremost. I feel like I have half of my soul complete now that you are back, Braylon. The old wisdom tooth situation.
Oh, man.
But we showed a picture of that on the air last week as well. That was nice.
That was just one of them. There were two. That actually was one that was bigger than that. But I feel good. I'm glad you guys gave me some time to rest, get the teeth together. Thought I was ready Sunday. Not so much. Missed the treatment dosage around at 11 p.m. Woke up about 7 a.m. Oh, it was killing me.
The wisdom teeth situation is not a fun one.
No, not at all. And I never needed them removed. That's why I still have them. The first one that I had removed was last year. It cracked, and I had it in over time. And finally, the dentist said, you might want to take care of that. So I took care of one last year. Kind of a similar situation thing this year. Dentist was saying that it was putting some unnecessary pressure on the bone structure. He was like,
you don't want any of that unnecessary pressure.
So, and it finally caused me pain Thursday morning. I made the appointment, made sure I had the appointment consistent on Friday. Got it done, man. Now I'm back feeling good, better than the Detroit Lions. How about some spiteful individuals? The Detroit Lions are some spiteful individuals. They say, you know what, Braylon, since you said we're going to go 0-17, right, or since you, Ryan, said we're going to get our first win today, how about both you guys are wrong?
Hey, what did I say, though, yesterday? I said they were going to have a chance to win the game. They were going to have a possession with a chance to win in the fourth quarter, and they had more than one.
You picked 19-17,
I did. I was close.
You were close, man. That was a hell of a game. I enjoyed the game. I thought it was a fun game to watch. I don't know what people are complaining about. It was great.
Yeah, we'll certainly get into the Lions today. The Tigers making some news as well. The Tigers signed 28-year-old left-handed starter Eduardo Rodriguez to a 5-year, $77 million contract. We'll talk to Rogelio Castillo from MotorCityBengals.com. We'll do that in hour number 2 of the program. Tigers making some moves, Braylon.
Yeah, man, exciting. We talked to Tucker Barnhart last week. Getting these guys going, not wanting to wait until later on in the year, trying to give people first cracks at individuals that they thought helped their team. Right now, they're going after them. Now they're getting out the way. They want to be waiting in any type of line. The faster you show an individual that you have some like to him or some likeness to him, like, hey, you know what, we like you. This is what we like about you. This is what we're doing over here. Faster you throw that out there, guys are like, hey, I want to get in and get situated fast. So good move for the Tigers.
He turned down Boston. They wanted to re-sign him. And he turned down the Blue Jays, who were a terrific team, and he came to Detroit. I'm looking forward to having him here. He could be a 2 here, a number 2 starter here. He's a good pitcher. Won 19 games a couple years ago. Had COVID last year. Had some heart issues after that COVID bout. He had it really bad, so he's just rebounding. Last year didn't have as great a year as the year prior, but he's a player, man.
No doubt. And Michigan State both took care of business over the weekend, setting up what is expected to be one of the most fascinating 2-week schedules around here in a long, long time. Michigan State, Ohio State, then Michigan State, Penn State. Michigan, of course, at Maryland, and then home to Ohio State as they finish out the season.
It's going to be great. You watched the Michigan State and Maryland game this past weekend, and you saw Tagovailoa just like his brother. They can pass the ball in college. I want to say it's his 7th 350 or 330-plus yard passing game, and he's exciting. They didn't get the win against Michigan State, but he gets that ball down the field, so it's going to be fun for Michigan to match up against these guys. I think the secondary has played a lot better towards the end of the season for Michigan, so it'll be good to see, and we're going to see what happens with them. That'll be fun. And then, obviously, Michigan State, they have their destiny right in front of them. Do they want to play in Indianapolis? Do they want to play on December 4th in Indianapolis? They got to go ahead and beat Ohio State this weekend coming up.
19-point favorites are the Buckeyes. Michigan 14.5-point favorites over Maryland.
We'll talk college football coming up in just a little bit. But first, I want to let you know if you want to win 2 tickets to the Detroit Lions Thanksgiving Day game against the Chicago Bears. That's so distracting for a minute, Fish. Jeez, my goodness.
Sounds like monkeys, not turkeys, by the way.
Right. Woodward Sports giving you the chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our turkey games. Listen every day, morning Woodward show at 9 a.m., Big D Energy at noon, and the bottom line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of the turkey games will get 2 front row seats to the Thanksgiving Day game, plus a turkey. All you have to do to qualify is this. Braylon, what's going to be the word today?
Wisdom.
Nice.
Wisdom.
When we say the word wisdom in the 3 o'clock hour, be the first to get to YouTube and write it down in the chat. We'll get you qualified, and we're going to qualify for the next couple of days. And then, of course, the final on 11/23, we'll pick a winner. How about that?
Make sure you let everybody know at home watching. It doesn't have to be Ryan. It doesn't have to be myself. It doesn't have to be Maz. It can be any of us. As soon as you hear the word wisdom, you're on the board.
That's right.
As soon as you hear wisdom.
That's right. Get to the YouTube chat, 3 o'clock, and we'll do that as well. But let's start, guys, with the Detroit Lions. They end their 12-game losing streak, but they don't win. They tie. And I will tell you, that was, to me, and I've heard all the analysis today about what an ugly game it was, terrible. Dan Campbell talking about the Twilight Zone. The Lions deserved to win that game yesterday. They were a kicker away from winning that game. The missed extra point, and then the missed field goal that wasn't even close in overtime. I loved that game yesterday. I did not think it was a nasty game.
Right.
I thought it was a good, old-fashioned, hard-nosed, run until 229 yards rushing for the Detroit Lions. When's the last time you heard that? I loved that game yesterday. Kudos to the Detroit Lions. Your kicker sucks, and that's why you lost.
That was a heck of an
fact.
That's an heck of an introduction. It's tough. I don't like games like that. I don't like ties. I don't understand why games end in ties, especially in the NFL. I think it's a dumb rule and has been for a while. And I think the Lions have been a part of arguably the most ties in the past 6-7 years, and maybe just go a full decade on it. But what you saw to DeAndre Swift, I said one of the running backs from the SEC was going to have a breakout game. It was going to be a breakout game for that individual. I just happened to pick Alabama as opposed to picking Georgia. Georgia, DeAndre Swift, running back. Had a good game, man. You saw the athletic ability. He ran with purpose. I read a lot of comments on Twitter, and they talked about it, Ryan. He's running with purpose. He's running efficient. That means they're giving him the ball more. They're putting the ball in his hands, allowing him to get some rhythm. One of the biggest things you see with players in the NFL or any league is when you don't get a chance to consistently get a rhythm. Like you don't get, 20 carries. When you don't get the chance to stay into the game, when you're coming in, you're coming out, here's a pass here, and then we're quiet. When you can gain rhythm in any sport, you tend to play your best self, and that's what you saw out of DeAndre Swift. The kicking was atrocious. I mean, it's part of what Maz talks about ever since, Prater has been gone. We've just been awful in the kicking game, and you saw that yesterday, missing the extra point, missing the field goal, and it wasn't even just a miss. The best thing I saw about the comment, I saw a comment that said that was the worst attempt I have ever seen in my life.
Terrible.
Like just the energy that led up to the kick, from the person, from the kicker going back to getting in the stands, to getting set, to getting fit, to looking the part, to lining it up, to analyzing was he going to make it or not. That is the most lackluster attempt I think I have ever seen in NFL history.
Ryan Santoso, he just looked like you picked him out of the stands and
did.
said, "Okay, kid, make this kick for $10,000." He had no chance of making that kick.
Definitely looked like one of those.
The extra point was horrible. Ryan and I looked before you got in today. We said, how much did Matt Prater make? What did we come up with, Ryan?
2 years, $6.5 million.
Okay, and then we got
we got Austin Siebert
on a rookie deal.
on a rookie deal, makes about $850,000.
So they didn't want to spend any money at all. So
and that's basically
$800,000.
what it comes down to. Look.
Not to mention I got to watch Jared Goff go 14 of 25.
We haven't even got to him.
we haven't even got to him.
I got a chance to see that.
He's a whole segment.
But the kicker situation, you're not under some crazy cap situation here. You're just not. I mean, unless you're trying to do Matt Prater a favor by allowing him to go to free agency and sign with a good team, which if that's what your goal is, if you're not willing to pay your kicker, and if you're not willing or if you're just trying to do some guy a favor, I don't understand why you wouldn't re-sign the best kicker in the league for a couple of $1 million. Because it's not like you are some crazy good NFL team where you're going to win games by double-digit points. You know, if you're going to win a game, your kicker's probably going to be needed in the fourth quarter to do that. And Austin Siebert, God bless you, he's done a nice job, but he's not available every week. That's another problem with this Siebert guy. Yeah, and you're stuck with Santoso. Makes you scratch your head.
I just don't. Isn't there someone better than Santoso?
Apparently not.
You heard Braylon. He looked lost.
Scared.
Yeah. Play the kick again, Ryan, and just look at him.
Alex.
Not Ryan. Yeah. Alex.
Somebody.
Just look at the way he's like setting up for this. It's like he's never done it before. Look, here he goes. He's just okay. Let me just back up here.
Okay, I think it's something.
This is like almost old school type thing.
Maybe I step over.
See that turn on his pants.
Now here we go. Here comes the snap.
Do I have to kick it?
Here comes the snap. No effort. No effort.
No follow through.
Nothing.
There was no follow through. And the big thing for me is Matt Prater had spent some time here in Detroit. Endeared himself to the community. The community loved him. Like, he was a Lions favorite. Like, he's the most consistent player we had. You know, look, he knocked the field goals down. Anything over 45, he's knocking that down.
There's still number 5 jerseys at Ford Field.
Murray, Hansen, Prater.
Yeah, pretty good.
So crowd favorite. I'm sure that if they would have tried to work with him and say, okay, hey, you know what about if we don't go that high? What if I get you here? If they had any type of negotiations, if they had any type of trying to meet in the middle, trying to make someone feel like they want them to be a part of, and that being Matt Prater, that someone, like, they didn't do any of that, and now he's gone, and now you're dealing with this. So
there's so many different layers to discuss with this Detroit Lions team. We will do that. Dan Campbell took over the play calling responsibilities from Anthony Lynn, and what about Jared Goff? How bad must David Blau be if he couldn't get into that game yesterday? That's one of the things that I'm thinking yesterday. If your quarterback is so bad and he's physically unable to throw the football. I think he threw one pass in that fourth quarter in overtime. Run. Now, I loved all of it because they were getting some good yardage on the ground there. But, my goodness, we'll talk about all of it, and you'll hear from Dan Campbell about taking over those responsibilities. We'll do it next. Armani and Edwards on a Monday.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for MyBookie.ag, our studio sponsors and the guy and the place that I go and put my sports bets in tonight. Monday Night Football. Cannot wait. The Rams and the 49ers. That's right. OBJ's debut. You can bet how many catches he's going to make tonight. Matthew Stafford, over-under for him as well. Get it all at MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code Woodward. If you're a first-timer especially, they'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That's money in your pocket to spend any way you want. Full slate of NBA games, NHL as well. Cannot wait for the football this weekend. Great college football coming up. Michigan State and Ohio State. Can the Spartans cover that 19-point number? We'll have to find out. And if you're a first-timer, like I said, use the promo code Woodward. They'll double your first deposit up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBook. If you have a gambling problem, make sure you check in with the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
After the game, Dan Campbell said, I don't even know how to react to this. I'm in a twilight zone. I don't know what this is. And I think for most of us,
welcome.
We really
you just coaching for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I mean,
welcome.
For most of us, I didn't even know really how to feel after that game yesterday. Although, I mean, after the 44-6 loss blowout against the Eagles, getting booed off the field, having a bye week, I expected the Lions to play one of their best games, and I think they did that. And I do believe they deserved to win the game yesterday. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for their kicker, they would have done so despite the quarterback. Jared Goff is done. He cannot play here anymore unless
He was hurt.
okay, he's hurt. If he's playing hurt, your backup must really be bad.
I can't answer that question. I don't know why they didn't take him out and give Blau a chance. He played with
He
a lot.
couldn't hand the ball off. That's all they were doing was handing the ball off.
He played with a lot of guts, and that play he made to Amon-Ra St. Brown, great pass, good completion, and they got down inside Steeler territory. Had a penalty, of course, very Lion-esque. But I want to welcome Dan Campbell to Detroit officially. You have been lionized.
I'm pretty sure the Baltimore Ravens game missed the 66-yard field goal by Tucker. I'm pretty sure that kind of lionized him and welcome. But if not, this definitely did. It's not the Twilight Zone. It's just Detroit. We asked the question early on in the season, and everybody said they don't feel like Detroit is cursed. Adam Baydoun went on a long rant, talking about on Morning Wood. No, they're not cursed. It's not about being cursed. What do you call it? What do you call it? The Detroit Lions? Like, I know we're joking. It's fun to have these conversations, but I mean, you look at what's happened over the career, like in the last decades with the Detroit Lions. It's always something. It's always something.
I don't know if it's a curse to.
Oh, it's a curse.
Well, look, I don't know if it's a curse. It's total malfeasance to not resign Matt Prater. That's number one.
Yep.
Like, if you think about that, that is just a poor decision. There's no curse that tells you you're doing the wrong thing by not signing one of the best players this franchise has had in the last 15 years.
But the Lions aren't the only team to not bring back someone.
No, I understand that, but
and cut a corner. But they're the only ones that you see these things get really, really, really backed up into these situations where you're like, wow, what is this?
Listen, man.
Matt, go ahead.
Joey 2 times on our YouTube thread. He hit it on the head. The 3 guys that Brad Holmes has signed as a kicker replacement for Prater, you're paying him over $3 million. The 3 of them. They cut Bullock. He got $1.75 million. You signed what's his name? Siebert. And then you had to sign Bullock. I mean, whatever it is, Santoso off the freaking waiver wire to your practice squad. So add it all together, it probably comes up to $3 million.
Probably a little bit more than that as well. We talk about Jared Goff. Why was he in the game late? Lions head coach MCDC, Dan Campbell, talked about it.
Well, I think it was more that we all felt like he was good. He was good enough to go. I mean, from him, that's what I was just telling Justin. I mean, from him to Brunel, to the trainers, we all felt like, you know what, okay, he's good enough to stay in there, and so that's why I stuck with it. I mean, I have to go with my gut and look him in the eyes, and I have to listen to the opinion of our trainers. And if we feel like he can make it, he can make it.
But did you think you could win that game just running the ball without much of a passing game going?
Yeah, we should have. We didn't, but we should have.
Totally agree with Dan Campbell there. I don't know what all goes into seeing if Jared Goff is healthy enough to play. I mean, that's one thing, and I guess he made that decision. But the Lions, in running the football, 229 yards on the ground yesterday, they should have won the game. So if they do that, we're not all talking about this right now, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if they make an extra point, if they make a field goal in overtime, and how about the defense too, man?
They played really well.
How about the defense?
Yeah.
And
Lights out.
They caught a break yesterday without Ben Roethlisberger having to play. He's got COVID.
Minka Fitzpatrick, by the way, COVID positive today. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple Lions come up with COVID this week.
I hope not. At the end of the day, I think the way we need to look at this game is just like you said. The Lions did more than enough to win. They didn't get it done. Kicking game. This is something that we talked about early in the season. Why didn't you bring Matt Prater back? Then you bring in Austin Seibert. Now you bring in Santos. Understood. Kicking game lost you the game yesterday. You did everything right. Defense played well. Then doesn't matter who was a quarterback, like you said. Doesn't matter. They play well. Running game. DeAndre Swift. It was great to see that going. We already know how we are at the quarterback position. It's tough. They're tough at the quarterback position, and not in a good way. So this is a game they should have won. They didn't. But it's another one of those heartbreakers.
There were some certain positives that came out of yesterday. And look, we talked about a guy in Penei Sewell so much over the course of the last 2 or 3 months. Penei Sewell played his tail off yesterday at right tackle. Lions got Taylor Decker back. Here's the Pro Football tweet. 29 pass blocking snaps, 0 pressures allowed, 0 sacks allowed. He was going up most of the game against T.J. Watt before T.J. Watt got hurt, and I think he's going to be out for a couple of weeks too, T.J. Watt. But nonetheless, Penei Sewell, his first start at right tackle, did a magnificent job. And if you can look, with no threat to pass the ball, especially in the second half, you've got Decker on the left side, Penei Sewell on the right side, and you don't even have Ragnow in there. I think you've got to at least feel good about what the Detroit Lions have done yesterday on their offensive line, in their run game. And if you're looking for baby steps, right? I mean, we're reacting to this thing as if it's, playoff in January. Right. I mean, all you can do is what you can do. They're not winning any games. You can take some positives out of this thing, and I do think you can look at that game yesterday, look at the defense, the offensive line, and feel pretty good about at least this football game that you just watched. Will that translate next week against the Browns? I don't know, but at least for 4 hours on one Sunday, they did pretty good.
Yeah, for those of you that are confused, because you did see that T.J. Watt had a sack. He got that on Taylor Decker yesterday. Yeah, you're definitely seeing the future. You definitely see what it could look like. You bring in Ragnow next year to put him back at center, one of the best centers in the NFL. Taylor Decker's back. You see Penei Sewell. Penei's played left and played right, so he has experience on both sides this season. That moving into next year, man, that puts him into a nice position, especially when you see with 7 games left to go in the season, your boy DeAndre Swift is running like he's running 130 yards. He's catching the ball out of the backfield. So it's fun to watch the little things, because that's all we've been given.
That's exactly right.
That's all
Braylon.
We've been given is the little things. So if you pay close attention, there are little things there, and the little things are that offensive line definitely will have a chance to be really good next year. DeAndre Swift moving in the right direction, and it's the defense. Yep. And the defense. Look what Aaron Glenn has been able to do with this defense. He's had them play. Now, they've had 2 games where they definitely, they got blown out and they didn't look right. But outside of that, being an understaffed NFL defense in terms of a team trying to get to the playoffs, in terms of trying to get, in the position you want to get to the Super Bowl, you're going to need more than what you have. But what you have so far this year, we've watched you, surprise us as Lions fans, as Lions analysts. We've watched what you did against Baltimore. We watched what you did against the Vikings, the last game against Pittsburgh yesterday. So they've made some strides in the right direction. We just got to keep it going and see ultimately where it gets in December, January this year.
Braylon, defensively, this team not expected to do anything this year.
Not at all.
Probably expected to be a little bit worse than they were last year when they were like 31st in the league. Has held 3 playoff opponents in the Ravens, the Vikings. Actually, the Vikings are not a playoff opponent because they can't close out games, although they did win yesterday.
That's my team.
And they're kind of hovering there.
You can say playoff team because
I can say playoff contender.
They haven't lost by more than 4 points this
season. They're going to make it.
They could say I could say playoff contender. But the Ravens, the Vikings, and the Steelers under 20 points. That's pretty darn good. That's giving your team a chance to win right there. When you hold
2 on the road,
an NFL team, a playoff caliber teams like those 3 teams to under 20 points, you should win that game.
Not to mention what you did for basically 3 1/4 quarters of the Green Bay game on the road in Green Bay. If you want to add that into it for the mix and what they did there.
I want to bring up maybe the next time we come back here, we'll talk about the play calling.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go next. You'll hear what Dan Campbell said about taking over the play calling, and we'll hear from Corey Woods, an update from him as well, our Lions beat reporter out there in Allen Park. We'll do that all next. Braylon, Anthony, and Lynn, what do you make of all this? His play calling duties have been stripped. You played for him. We'll get your take as well. This is Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Tony is a 3rd-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Leading into yesterday's game, the Detroit Lions were winless on the season. Along with that, since 1955, the Detroit Lions have not beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Yesterday, they were attempting to end both losing streaks, and they did that. However, at the same time, the Lions did not walk away with the W as the game resulted in a 16-16 tie. Now, if you ask me, one of the reasons that game did end in a tie was the decision to not put in backup quarterback David Blau. As reported after the game, quarterback Jared Goff was dealing with a rib oblique injury. And, well, when a guy is hurt like that, why keep him in? But you know what? Instead of hearing it from me, here's what Dan Campbell had to say on the decision.
Yeah, well, I think it was more that we all felt like he was good. He was good enough to go. I mean, from him, that's what I was just telling Justin. I mean, from him to Brunel, to the trainers, we all felt like, you know what, okay, he's good enough to stay in there, you know, and so that's why I stuck with it. I mean, I have to go with my gut and look him in the eyes, and I have to listen to the opinion of our trainers, and if we feel like he can make it, he can make it.
But did you think you could win that game just running the ball without much of a passing game at all?
Yeah, we should have. We didn't, but we should have.
Now let's be real. David Blau coming in for Jared Goff, there is no way to guarantee that would have resulted in the Lions getting their first win of the season. But there's one thing that we do know. Jared Goff staying in as the quarterback, it did not result in the Lions win either. This is Corey Woods with your Detroit Lions update. Check you guys next time.
And that was Corey Woods, Lions beat reporter, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. Thank you for listening to 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, or 94.7 HD2 FM. We are on from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on those three radio stations, and of course 24/7 here on YouTube. Just search Woodward Sports The Bottom Line, and you can, of course, watch any of the shows, Woodward Sports Network.
Yeah, I'm listening to that tape, and something interesting for me is, Jared Goff, let's just call it spade. He just hasn't gotten it done this season. He's had a couple brief moments, like he had a couple passes in the Green Bay game. You look how he played against the Rams out at SoFi, made some plays out there, played a lot better, played his best game at SoFi. With the exception of that, he's struggled all year. He struggled with his confidence. He struggled with getting the ball to the right receiver, reading the defense and taking what they give you, being able to extend the play, to move those chains. Hasn't done that all year. Here's a situation you have in a game that is in your grasp. That Pittsburgh game yesterday was in his grasp, talking about the coach, talking about Dan Campbell. You know that your guy, who's not the guy, but he's your guy temporarily, isn't playing that well. You know he may have an injury. This is the perfect opportunity for you to take the game out of his hand. Take the control from Jared Goff. Take the decision out of his hand, and you make the decision. This is when you say, you know what? I know you want to get in there, big guy, but let's just put David Blau in, see, and make sure that you're okay, and give David Blau a chance. Like, those are the tough decisions that coaches have to make. I'm glad I don't have to. I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions. But those are the decisions you get paid to make. Those are the ones that the fan base expects you to make. They're already not appreciating what Jared Goff is doing because it's not giving you anything to appreciate. Now is a chance where you have an opportunity, a clean opportunity, to put the backup quarterback in and David Blau from Purdue. I mean, you see how Aiden O'Connell is. Might have been his week. Might have been a Purdue week. But it would have been a good time to put him in. Just my thoughts.
Look on the other side of the coin. Look how tough Jared Goff was. He played in that game in pain. You get an oblique rib injury, and you're a quarterback, and you're getting hit from that Pittsburgh defense, and you're playing in the cold weather. I take my hat off to him as well. I do.
Sure. I mean, look, there's no substitute for we want our guys to play tough. We want our guys to be, represent Detroit tough, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, man, if you're hurting your team out there by not being able to do the things that you can do, I think that's up to the head coach then to say, we're going to put you on the sidelines. Now, if you're a player on that team, if you're a wide receiver on that team, Braylon, I mean, is there some chirping going on? Like, what are they doing? Get this guy out of here, kind of thing. What are those conversations like?
Oh, 100%. Like, you know when the guy doesn't have it. You've practiced with that guy all training camp. You've practiced with the guy all season. You've played in games with him. You've had moments with him. You've seen what the pundits have said and seen. You've seen the inside things that you yourself know to be true. But at the same time, they don't have those veteran guys where he's out there playing terrible. You know, their wide receiver core, it's not made up of guys like, you know, Randall Cobb and DeAndre Hopkins and, you know, Thielen, and the only names I'm looking for right now are veteran names, to where when those guys see, okay, well, we're out here, we're at the top of our game, we're getting open and we're not getting the ball. When those type of guys have issues, they usually say something and then you have to follow suit. But guys that are playing for the Lions right now, they're not your typical 1, 2, and 3 type of wide receivers. So they're just happy to be on the field for the most part. So they would be darned if they were going to say anything.
So, Bray, you've had Lynn as your coach, Anthony Lynn. How's he feeling today, really, in reality?
Well, let's put up the tweet here. This is Dan Campbell talking about taking the play calling duties over. One of the things was, why not change it up a little bit here? I wanted to be able to talk to Goff in game. Sometimes I think you're able to get in the flow of the game when you're the guy who's calling it. It just helps to know exactly where to go. End quote by Dan Campbell, talking about why he took over the play calling responsibilities, kind of trying to soften the blow, I guess I would say, for Anthony Lynn. But I got to imagine Anthony Lynn can't be too happy today, and I don't blame him. But at the end of the day, I don't blame Dan Campbell for taking those play calls either. He's the head coach.
Right.
Your offense sucks. You know, you got to try to do something different.
Lynn was going to take the year off. Remember we talked about it? Dan Campbell reached out to him, and he pulled him out of retirement, and then his name obviously popped up for the USC job. Remember, he was one of the first names up for that job. He still might be going to USC.
Well, Anthony Lynn, you feel second-guessed. You know, no matter if you're playing, no matter if you're coaching like crap or not, you feel second-guessed. You're like, well, you bought me. I didn't want to come. You bought me here. You made me coach, and now I am. And, you know, that's how you feel. But, the truth is the truth. You haven't done well as an offensive coordinator this season in terms of what we've seen the offensive output be. It's very, medial. It's very average. Hasn't done anything special. You've struggled at times, and we've second-guessed your calling. That's what he's talking right now. You second-guess your calling. The big thing that I actually tip my hat off to Dan Campbell in this scenario is it's so tough for coaches to get involved. Like, coaches tend to let their offensive coordinator be the offensive coordinator. Hey, man, you handle the offense. I don't want to second guess you.
Nobody wants to ruffle anybody's feathers.
Exactly. Defensive coordinator, hey, man, you got that. Like, I played in Cleveland. Romeo Crennel was a defensive guru, but knew nothing about really offense. He let his offensive coordinators, plural, and defensive coordinators, plural, pull him down because he wouldn't check them or he wouldn't say anything and he wouldn't address issues, and he would just keep giving them rope and more rope and more rope. I appreciate that Dan Campbell said, hey, I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I've been seeing. People have been talking, but he probably waited as long as he could. And then he stepped in and he made some things change. But it is Dan Campbell, the offensive coordinator that you want or need. So that's moving forward. What will we see in the offseason with that? Will we see Anthony Lynn replaced? Because I'm pretty sure Dan Campbell's not trying to call plays.
Look, the Lions haven't scored more than 19 points in 8 of the last 9 games they played this season. An NFL football team has scored more than 19 points one game, and that was in their first game against the San Francisco 49ers. They scored 30. A lot of garbage points. A lot of garbage points. In fact, I'll tell you how many garbage points there were. It was a 38-10 game in the third quarter, and they ended up scoring 23 points in the late third quarter and into the fourth. So aside from that game, here's the point totals for the Detroit Lions. Are you ready?
Yep.
17, 17, 14, 17, 11, 19, 6, 16. Sorry,
wow.
Anthony Lynn, I'm sorry. Good for the head coach to decide to get in there and do something about it. And whether it's a talent issue or a scheme issue, Jared Goff has not thrown a touchdown pass in 3 of the last 4 games. I mean, that's like you got guys throwing 4 a quarter. Not 4 a quarter, but
hey.
Tom Brady's throwing 4 touchdown passes in the first half. Not this week against Washington, but you get the point.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's the NFL. Like, you've seen bad teams score points. You've seen them put points on the board. We've seen the Jets. Hell, the Jets have 2 wins against 2 playoff teams right now where they're putting points on the board, where they put touchdowns on the board, be it Mike White or be it Zach Wilson against the Titans. You've seen bad teams do more with less. So and this is why it's such a tricky subject to talk about. All year we've been talking about it, and it's so weird. It's like, in one hand, you talk about them being undermanned, understaffed. You talk about they don't have the Pro Bowlers, they don't have the players, they don't have the top of the conference or division players to help or to move the chains of score touchdowns and points. But then on the other half, you see the defense. They've been making it happen. They've been strong. They've been getting into the quarterback. They've been playing tough. They've been holding teams with under 20 points. And you see things like that. It's like, I don't know which one to make of it, because it's one that's the NFL, and you should be able to get any talent level to play up to a sufficient level. But then at the same time, it's, you know.
Here's the silver lining to the Lions cloud. Where have they put their most money into?
The offensive line.
How good did the offensive line look yesterday?
Very good.
They were pushing the Steelers around. Yeah. The running game woke up over 200 yards. You heard it. DeAndre Swift runs mean, jumps. I mean, no one touches him on those hurdles.
I mean, the Lions carried the ball 39 times, 33 of them for DeAndre Swift, 229 yards.
Wait till Jamal Williams comes back. I mean, Jamar Jefferson looked good. Jamar Jefferson. Yeah, Jamar Jefferson looked good. The one play, he runs in and hurts his ankle. It's unfortunate. Hopefully he can come back. But why not just run the ball down people's throats from now on? That's your strength. Go ahead and do it until you get some real receivers and a quarterback that's 100% healthy and has a good arm.
Well, that's what the hope is. We'll see what happens this week. Plenty of time to talk about the Lions and Browns from Cleveland.
The funny thing is, Lynn was a running back / fullback with the Denver Broncos.
That's his game.
Like, you would think that he would just run the ball with Swift. You think, hey, you know what? I know that my quarterback is not going to be my quarterback moving. So I'm doing the Stan thing now with this hand. I'm acting like Stan. But you would think it'd be easy for a running back, but therein lies the problem. Sometimes we have a wide receiver offensive coordinator, or you have a running back offensive coordinator. They don't know when and which to throw the ball, pass, and run.
Well, plenty of time to talk about the Lions, guys, again at Cleveland. Cleveland got killed by New England yesterday. We'll talk about that.
Oh, is Odell still the problem? Is it still Odell's fault?
We'll talk about that in hour number 2 as well. But, guys, college football next. It all sets up. The stars are aligned for the 2-game season that is Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State. The round robin starts this weekend. We'll get to it next. Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With mortgage interest rates unbelievably low, the stakes to find your new home have never been higher. And that's why Hall Financial's exclusive realtor network allows us to connect you with a top-rated realtor in your area, making sure you take on the housing market and win. Hall Financial has earned over 4,000 5-star reviews because of our technology and our commitment to closing your loan fast. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Start an industry Start a new career in an industry that is always essential. That's right. I'm talking about the heating and cooling industry. Visit northwesterntech.edu right now to find out how you can start $77,000 right out the gate. Visit northwesterntech.edu. Heating and cooling, baby.
How about those Wolverines? If that's not good, I don't know what is.
How about that? Jim Harbaugh, after the game at Penn State, a 21-17 win for the Wolverines. This is the first time since 2001 that the Michigan Wolverines won a game in Madison and at Happy Valley in the same year. Got to give the Michigan Wolverines a ton of credit for the comeback win. Man, I get so emotional during these games. I was like, when they were down, when it was 17-14, I thought Michigan did everything they could to lose the game. In fact, I thought they deserved to lose the game because that game shouldn't have been as close as it was. Michigan should not have been in that position, but they were, and they ended up making the plays in the end to get the W. A hell of a win at Penn State.
That's how you judge good teams. you can sit there and talk about what they did to lose. Good teams will do enough to lose, or they will do some things to lose but still win that game because they believe in each other. This has been a long time. It has been a very long time since I watched the Michigan football team, and I just knew we were going to win. Like, that's the way in which we used to feel when I was at Michigan. That's the way when Michigan was Michigan. When Michigan was winning Big Ten championship after Big Ten championship, when they had Charles Woodson and Mike Hart, and the list goes on, you just never thought they were going to lose. I mean, if you look at the national championship game, I know I'm taking it back, but if you look at the national championship game, they almost lost about 6-7 games that year. They were in a dogfight. Should have lost to Iowa, should have lost to Ohio State, should have lost to Michigan State, should have lost to Illinois, and the list goes on, but they didn't. Like, they pulled it out. They found a way, whether it was the defense, and now I'm equated to this year, whether it's Aiden Hutchinson getting 3 sacks and being stout in Happy Valley, whether it's David Ojabo, like, coming up and becoming the next guy, actually tying,
came out of nowhere.
Him and Aiden Hutchinson are now league leaders in the Big Ten in sacks. Maybe it's Josh Ross, playing that hard-nosed Mike linebacker that we talked about with Chris Philbin. Maybe it's on the offensive side. Maybe it's the offensive line and how they've been dominant. They haven't let your boy Cade McNamara get touched this year. He really hasn't been touched. Or maybe it's Hassan Haskins who realized, you know what? I don't have my boy Blake Corum today. I don't have lightning, so I got to be thunder and lightning. And he was. Maybe it's the wide receivers. Maybe it's Roman Wilson coming in, making some big catches, some big plays. Maybe it's all at the end of the game with the 47-yard touchdown up the sideline. That's what you're seeing in this Michigan team. They have the ability to make the play, and they did it against Nebraska. They tried to do it against Michigan State. But every game they've been in, you felt like they were the better team. You felt like they were going to win. It was just a matter of time before they made that play. And that's the same thing I saw in Penn State.
Well, why do they have to wait so long, Bray?
That's the problem. That's
Come on,
the problem
man.
I have. And I don't want to complain
4
about it.
4 minutes to go,
Look,
now you're going to go?
Look, I don't want to complain today about Michigan. But if you just allow me 30 seconds
Please.
You're killing me. Guys, Jim, you're killing me. My heart pounds during these games. I mean, it is insane. You're killing me. You got all this talent. You don't have to wait to the end. You don't have to keep the opponent around. You just don't have to do it. You don't have to keep these teams hanging around. Why do you do it? Cade McNamara today, or I think it was today, I heard today, said that they practiced that tight end drag for 3 years and have never used it in the game. That was the first time they used it in the game. And I'm thinking to myself, if maybe you ran it in the first quarter or second quarter, maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you'd create enough separation where they wouldn't be down all the time at the end of the game.
Who said that they did this for 3 years?
Cade McNamara.
He hasn't even been around here for 3 years.
Well, he's been here this is his third season, right? With Michigan.
Wow. Yeah.
So.
Wow. Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know if that's true or not. He said it.
Yeah.
But it leads you to believe how many other plays are they working on in practice that we never see. And why are you working on them in practice if we never see them? I feel, and again, I don't want to complain. They're 9-1. They're going to have a chance to play for the Big Ten championship 2 weeks from last Saturday. Sorry, Michigan State. That's the way I feel right now.
Right.
If you beat Ohio State on Saturday, I'll eat my words. Okay, but why do we have to wait so long? Just bury the teams.
It's tough to. It's tough to give an answer right now just to be like, hey, this is the reason why. Because this isn't anything new. Like, they're 9-1. Stop worrying so much. They're 9-1. Stop worrying so much. Like, when I played in Michigan, it was the same thing. Lloyd's been the same way. Schembecker was the same way. Brady Hoke was the same way. That's how it is in Michigan. This is nothing new. The infamous Michigan State game where it's the infamous comeback, you call it the Braylon game, and it's not, it's everybody else. We didn't have to go down with them.
Yes.
We could have beat them in the beginning of the game.
Yes.
But we didn't.
Braylon.
The Purdue game that year, we didn't. It's not what we do.
Braylon, they didn't even throw you the ball in that game to the fourth quarter.
But that's what I'm saying. So this is Michigan. This is what Michigan always does.
But why?
They make it hard on themselves, And then it looks great, and you come back in dramatic fashion.
So,
I don't know what it is, but that's what it's.
In the 04 Braylon game, it's a perfect example. I'm glad you brought it up. I guarantee you, if they called plays and threw the ball to you in the first, second, and third quarter, you would not have been behind 27-10 in that game. I guarantee you that.
Were you punished that game?
No, they punished themselves and punished me. Because I had 86. I had 86 at halftime.
But that's the point. Michigan should have never been down 17-14 in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
Agreed.
But again, I'm not complaining.
Hey, maybe they're saving these plays. One for each team. Like Harbaugh's got. All right, I'm going to use this play against Penn State. Next week against Maryland, we're going to do our thing. We're going to run down their throat. And then for Ohio State, I got these 2 secret plays we've been working on for 3 years. We're going to really unleash it this year at the Big House.
I know I sound like a crybaby today, and I'm okay with that, okay? I fully accept that because I think I am a little bit of a crybaby when it comes to the Michigan Wolverines. However, they've got so much talent on this team. Cade McNamara, God bless him. He stood tall in the Nebraska game on the road behind. He stood tall in this game
over there now?
on the road. Absolutely. And he deserves it. You know what?
Yeah.
I was wrong about Cade McNamara. This guy is good.
Happens.
I do wish he would take the ball on some of these RPOs and run around the corner on some of these. He's never taken one. Maybe he's saving that for Ohio State too. But I'm not going to be nitpicky. Cade McNamara has put this team on his back. This was the first time we did not see J.J. McCarthy, and I was fine with that.
Yes.
I was totally fine with that. We probably, who knows whether you see him against Ohio State or not. But Michigan is, before the Wolverines played their first game, I said this team was going to win 10-plus games, beat Ohio State, and win the Big Ten championship. They are in position to do that. That is still out in front of them. Granted, the Wolverines need Ohio State to beat Michigan State this week, which I do anticipate they will do. Again, if they don't, if Michigan State wins, all the credit in the world to you. I'll eat my words. But everything is in front of the Michigan Wolverines this year, so I'm not going to go crazy.
I think they're going to be a 14-point underdog at home against Ohio State.
7. Less than a touchdown.
No way.
Less than a touchdown.
You're out of your mind.
No, it won't be as many as 2 touchdowns, just for how hard that secondary and that.
MSU's getting 19 this week.
But you heard what the committee said. The committee thought that Michigan was a better team after losing to Michigan.
That's why I took
State.
5 points off of that 19.
Ohio State's at home, too.
Yes, I know
Michigan
that.
will be at home.
That's why I took 5 points off.
You should take more off, though.
Yeah.
They thought they were a better team.
Okay, 13.
Oh, whatever. Well, we don't want to talk about it.
I'm just going to tell you. Watch.
I'm going to tell you it's going to be less than a touchdown.
Okay, you're out of your mind.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
good.
How much you want to bet?
I don't.
That's right, you don't bet.
Oh, man.
I guess it doesn't matter what the spread is, right?
It
You got to
doesn't
go out
matter.
and win
You
the
gotta go
game
out and
anyway.
win the game. But again, for Michigan, Braylon, you have got to look at this season and feel like this is, at the very least, the worst case scenario, this is a 10-win team. And in a season where many people believe they were going to win go 7-5, 8-4 max, I think you've got to say kudos to the Michigan Wolverines. We see now, we saw with the assistants, and Harbaugh seems to get his mojo back. You seem like you got a quarterback who's going to be a senior next year. You've got some things. You've got some players. That defense looks fantastic. But one part I want to ask you about now, too, before we get to the Spartans in the next segment, is this idea of Aiden Hutchinson for Heisman. I'm going to put up for you a little bit of something. We'll do it next. If you're watching on YouTube, you got a quick glance of it. But now, University of Michigan is trying to get Aiden Hutchinson's name in there for the Heisman Trophy. I want to ask you.
He's waited too late.
About that. We'll do it next. Romani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. You get the king's treatment each and every time you walk through the doors here at Lady Jane's. They're in, just about every state in the country. Multiple locations here in the Detroit area. And it's pretty simple. All you got to do, walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Let them do the work. You just sit there and relax. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Yes, it is. I missed that. Actually, I was glad when Maz was sitting there, he didn't start doing that. That would have been
a little
bit too much.
It would have been
Guys, this is one of those years that's wide open for the Heisman Trophy, and we talk so much about. Yes, I do think it's a wide open race. I think whoever's standing at the end will win. If Alabama's win. Bryce Young's going to win. If Ohio State wins, I wouldn't doubt if C.J. Stroud wins. If Michigan State wins the Big Ten championship, I wouldn't doubt if Kenneth Walker wins. But what if...
But then that's not wide open. That's 3 people.
Okay, what if Michigan wins the Big Ten championship, wins out? I do think this is all going to play out here. If you put up the tweet, Alex... This is from the Michigan Wolverines. They are starting now the Hutchinson for Heisman. One of the analysts for Pro Football Focus says he's the best player in the country, Aiden Hutchinson. Again, 7 tackles this week, 3.5 of them for loss, 3 sacks, a career high for him, and a forced fumble. I don't believe he will win the Heisman. I don't believe he will win it at all. But I do think, and again, this is based on Michigan winning out, I do think he'll get some votes and may even get invited to New York. We'll see. And the same for Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker is a shoo-in to at least be invited to New York. I think his stats are comparable to the last 3 running backs, and even in some cases better than the 3 running backs who have won the Heisman since 2000.
He's a stud.
He is an absolute stud. But will he win it? I don't know. I think Michigan State probably has to beat Ohio State and maybe win out for Kenneth Walker to win it. Otherwise, it's going to be one of 3 or 4 quarterbacks.
What if they lose and he has 200 yards against them?
If he has 200 yards, I don't think they lose.
Okay.
They believe they waited too late for this campaign. Harbaugh has done this before. You saw what he did with Jabril Peppers. They started the season off like with the Heisman campaign and stuff, and they put him in positions to punt return, kick return, play a wide receiver, run reverses, play the Viper position on defense, get interceptions, get sacks. So they put him in a lot of situations. Aiden Hutchinson, they've taken him out of the game a lot of times this year. Granted, they were playing, opponents that they didn't need him in through the rest of the fourth quarter or even through the third quarter sometimes. Look at those Northern Illinois games, the Washington games, you look, and the list goes on. If they would have wanted this to really gain traction, they should have been doing it earlier. Like, don't take him out of those games. Let him pile on those stats, because there's only been one player to win, the Heisman Trophy in the last 40 years. It was defensive, and that was Charles Woodson. Mm-hmm. But he won that because he also played offense.
Yeah.
That's because he was returning punts. That's because he was, playing wide receiver and getting reverses on the offensive side of the ball. With Aiden Hutchinson, he would have needed something like 22 sacks, 4 interceptions, or 20 sacks. You're going to need crazy numbers to really, really, really push the envelope of having a defensive lineman at the Downtown Athletic Club of New York. And, it just doesn't have it. He doesn't have enough games. I think he has 10 sacks now. They have 2 games left. If they play in the Big Ten Championship, that would be 3 before Heisman trophies or finish polling. Yeah. So I don't think it's enough time.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I don't think he's going to win the Heisman at all.
But he could have gone.
But I do think, and again, this is all based on one thing. If you beat Ohio State and he has something crazy like 2 or 3 sacks again, and they contain Ohio State's offense, scoring 50 points a game, and you hold them to 20 to 28 points, and Michigan wins, look, he's the best player on what would be the best team. And it's no different from Kenneth Walker. It's no different from C.J. Stroud. It's no different from Bryce Young. That usually, in many cases, the best player on the best team wins the Heisman. Yeah. And if that best team is Michigan, I'm not saying that it is Michigan, but if, in fact, they do win the rest of their games, who's the best player on Michigan? Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to get some votes.
Yeah, I just think,
and he might even get invited.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I'm saying. Like for positions that don't typically get places or typically win things, they have to be crazy. And his numbers aren't crazy. So if they would have wanted this to be crazy, they would have had to keep him in those games early on in the year so that he would have those extra sacks to tally up. Now he's at 10. You're looking at Maryland. Maybe he gets 2 sacks against Maryland. Now he's at 12. And then maybe he has, even if he had 3, now he's at, so if he has 5 sacks in the next, 2 games, he's at 15 sacks. That's like, all right. But now where's the other stuff? Now where's the interceptions? Now where's the,
Well, he's not going to have any of those.
But that's what I'm telling you. In order for him to have gotten there, he would have needed a lot of crazy stat numbers, and they would have had to have started earlier.
Maybe this is because we're here and we watch Michigan. I was watching a little bit of that Oregon game over the weekend.
I watched the whole game.
If you're the Detroit Lions, you might seriously want to start thinking about Aiden Hutchinson over Thibodeau. I mean, Thibodeau's a great player. Yeah. If you get either one of those guys, you're better tomorrow than you were today. But that's going to be I don't think Thibodeau at number 1 is a shoo-in. I think Hutchinson's going to have something to say about that.
He's definitely got the pedigree, and he's working towards that number 1 spot. Lions or the Texans, they both need the exact same stuff.
Mike G brings up a good point. Is he better than Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa? Is he comparable to that player? Does he grade,
I don't know about that.
Does he grade out to those players? Now look, he's got Ojabo on the other side. We always talk about Hutchinson, but if it's not for Ojabo on the other side, maybe Hutchinson's not as good. We don't know. I think you've got to give Ojabo a ton of credit.
The Bosa's are pretty good.
2 things. One thing, because I'm going to go with the Bosa's first, and then I got a sleeper pick, someone that everybody should be watching and eyeing in the NFL draft. With the Bosas, the difference with Hutchinson and the Bosas, and I hate talking good about Ohio State people, but at the end of the day, you have to tell the truth. You knew they were on the field at all times. Like every play, you knew a Bosa was out there. Like they made their presence felt like it was ridiculous, like ridiculously dominant. How dominant Nick and Joey were. Like they were just amazing. Aiden's really good. Like Aiden's good. But there's a different level with the Bosa's ball to the field. Like you just felt it on every play. And they had a really good defensive line at that time. Their defensive line in those 6 years were outstanding. But I think the difference is you just really felt it every play with Nick and Joey. Now, the secret player who people should be watching in the draft, and you talked about, Aiden over Thibodeau, I actually agree with that because I didn't see that much out of Thibodeau. I think he's also very focused on a lot of other things in life. He's focused on his art and his platform and things like that. Aiden O'Connell is somebody I would be looking at as a quarterback, like in the 2nd or 3rd round. I mean, just hear me out. He had 400 yards against Ohio State. He had 500 yards against Michigan State. He had, everywhere he goes, like all the big games, like he's throwing big numbers. He's not letting you down, and they don't talk about him. Aiden O'Connell is somebody I would be keeping a close eye on. I'd be keeping a close eye on.
I like what you're saying. I do.
They're
going to need a quarterback somewhere.
Dude.
We like our Mike White guy, even though he threw 4 interceptions yesterday. We still like Mike White, don't we, Bray?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We got to stick with things happen. Mistakes happen.
Can I say this to you guys though seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, you watch Ohio State this week against Purdue. They put up 45 points in the first freaking half, and I'm thinking to myself, there ain't no way either Michigan or Michigan State have beaten these guys. I mean, if everything lined up perfectly, fine, but in my heart of hearts, you watch these guys play. The best wide receiving core in the country. The best quarterback in the conference. I mean, come on. The only thing you're hoping is that Hutchinson and Ojabo, and again, this week, I don't see a scenario in which Michigan State goes to Columbus. I'm sorry. Call me all the names in the book.
It's
Michigan
okay.
State
It's 19 points. No one really gives them a chance.
I just don't believe that Michigan State's going to go down to Columbus and win the football game.
I think they'll play tough, though.
And the way they win that game, though, their formula is if Kenneth Walker just rushes for 200, 250 yards, scores 2 or 3 touchdowns, and they just time of possession.
Well, Michigan State's got some pretty good receivers, too, last time I checked.
Yeah, and Ohio State's defense is porous.
Okay. They could put up 40 points on Ohio State.
Ohio State could score 60.
Okay. It's going to be a ball game. Will you track meet then? Bet the over.
What I was going to say is what you feel for Ohio State versus Michigan is no one has gotten, like, C.J. Stroud at quarterback, this young guy, he hasn't felt pressure. Like, all year he hasn't felt pressure. Even when they play Oregon, he had 485 touchdowns. Thibodeau didn't play. They didn't get to him. He hasn't been gotten to. Like, he hasn't felt pressure. He hasn't started short-arming balls because guys are coming. He hasn't gone to roll out of the pocket and had to run into one guy and turn around and run into the other guy. He hasn't had that. He's had the comfortability of doing what all Ohio State quarterbacks do. They drop back, and it's a track meet.
Right.
They have all these guys from Florida and Texas and the state of Ohio as well. And it's a track meet. You just put the ball in their hands, and they're long handoffs, essentially, and guys take off. And he can't throw the ball. But with Michigan, with Ojabo, that defensive line with Hutch, and actually it even starts with Michigan State.
What about Josh Ross, too? Maybe
that's
bring
what I'm
him
saying.
a little bit.
And they have a better secondary than Michigan State. But if you want to talk about Michigan State with Panashuk, they have some Trotsky, they have some guys.
Xavier Henderson's got to play his best game.
They've got
Cal
some
Halliday
guys.
has to play his best
exactly.
game. I mean,
they got some guys. So
game.
it's going to be interesting to see. Excuse me. How Michigan State plays these guys in the line of scrimmage. They know they got to get to them. They have to get to them, but they have guys that can get there. It's going to be interesting to see because if they get to Stroud a couple times, and now he's looking around, now he's short arming throws, and give your secondary a chance. That's what the D line can do. It's going to be interesting because we haven't seen that from C.J. Stroud. He hasn't been put in that position. We don't know if he can handle adversity. It's going to be interesting.
Let's put a pin in this. Come right back. Michigan State on the road at Ohio State next week. And they took care of business this week. Sets up the round robin. Michigan State, Ohio State, and then Michigan, Ohio State the following week. What do we see? What do we think? We'll have it for you next. Plus, the Tigers make a big signing in free agency. All that and more coming up. This is the Armani and Edwards program.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Woodward Sports is giving you a chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our squid game. Nope, our turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m. Big D Energy at noon. And the bottom line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of turkey games will get tickets to the Thanksgiving Day Detroit game.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
Plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our turkey games challenges, watch, listen, and win. Make sure you're following @Woodward Sports on all social media or go to woodwardsports.com for additional chances to qualify. May the best turkey win.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for the Foaling Warehouse. You know it. It's in Hamtramck. You got to go out and see Chris and Noni Hut. Make sure you tell them that I sent you over there. They're going to take great care of you. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. You throw a football at bowling pins. It's hilarious, and you can do it with a whole group of fun, family and friends, and it's terrific. Host a corporate party, team building event, whatever way you want to do it. 2 ways to play: $10 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation for $120 for 10 people, and that's for 2 hours. They got over 100 beers in their $2 mystery beer machine. Multiple full bars as well, and you get to bring your own food in. They don't care. Bring it in. Have it delivered. It's all at the Foaling Warehouse. Get your foal on. Check it out at foalingwarehouse.com.
We got a process. We're going to do what we do. We got a 24-hour rule, and then we'll get ready for the next one. I mean, it's November, and we know what's at stake and what the preparation is going to be there. We're going to, like I just said, we're going to look at the film, and we're going to get ready for the next one. We got some things we need to clean up, and we got some guys. We're going to try to get some guys back, and then we'll just keep chopping. But it's 2 + 2 is 4, so it's not going to change. We got to do what we got to do. We got a process. We're going to stick with it.
And that was Mel Tucker. Keep chopping. A 40-21 win over the Maryland Terrapins this weekend in East Lansing.
A lot closer than the score indicated.
And now it is on to Ohio State week. 9-1 Michigan State, 9-1 Ohio State. For all the marbles, essentially, this week in East Lansing. And Braylon, you make the great point. If Michigan State is going to have a chance in this one, they have got to get to the quarterback. They have to have, pressure, whether it's Panashuk, Henderson, Snow, Halliday. I mean, somebody's got to get to this guy.
Yeah, you know. And I mean,
See what I did there, too, with the names, by the way?
He did. You
know those guys.
I did get that. Yeah, you know, your secondary is going to have to come up and make a play at some point this season. Like, we've been making excuses for Michigan State all year long. You talk about Western Kentucky and the Hilltoppers, and they put up 488. And, yes, Zappe is the #1 leading quarterback in the nation with yards. I understand that. But we knew early on in the year that the secondary was struggling. And then you go from there, you look at Aiden O'Connell, you look at Cade McNamara, you look at Tunga Vailoa. Well, it doesn't get any easier this coming Saturday. You're going up against C.J. Stroud, and what he's been able to do, it's too easy. Like, and it's not just C.J. Stroud. Like, it's these wide receivers are legit. They're real. Like, I've watched some Ohio State teams over the years, and, you know, you see speed. Whether it was Paris Campbell, who's now with the Colts, or, you know, and the list goes on. I don't have to name them all, but speedy guys, you put the quarterback, put the ball in their hands. These guys are different now. And Jigba's real. Like, he can run routes. He's strong. He's at the point of attack. He can take the ball from you. He doesn't tackle easy. I mean, you can't bring him down easy. You look at Wilson.
Olave.
Wilson. It just doesn't matter. They have so many guys. They're good. They're really good. They're going to be able to run routes to get by you, get past you, take the ball from you, and not go down. So your best bet, Michigan State, you got to run some blitzes. You got to run some stunts. You got to run some games on the interior line, on the inside. You got to do what it takes to get to C.J. Stroud, because like we've said, you haven't seen him panic and press this season, which is a good thing for Michigan State, because that's something that they can bring to him. They can bring something to his young self. They want to see how good he is. All right, young boy, let's see what you can do.
Braylon, you mentioned Njigba, Wilson, and Olave.
And Mosley. I forgot about Mosley. Yeah.
But between those three, how about 28 receptions for 265 and 85 is 340 yards and 5 touchdowns between those three.
Not to mention Wilson had a 60-yard rushing touchdown as well.
I mean, it's just it's ridiculous. Trevion Henderson's a freshman. I mean,
Mayan Williams is a bowling ball.
Like, what in the world is happening? Now, you want to know why C.J. Stroud is such a good quarterback in his freshman year? Give me Njigba, Wilson, and Olave and see how I get. And that's why you got to get to the quarterback.
Not to mention Trevion Henderson and Mayan Williams, like you said. When you play them, it's tough, because no matter what you do on offense, they come right back down on offense and do the same. Like, it gets to a point where your defense has now been on the field for too long. Now they're wearing your defense out. Every time you look up, the defense is back out there. They're back out there. So, yeah, they are a tough team to play. It's going to be interesting to see Mel Tucker and his defensive coordinating staff, their approach to C.J. Stroud early on, because they're going to have to start early. Like, that's not going to be something you try to figure out as the game is going on, halftime adjustment. That's going to be something that you come out with, Ryan, right away.
I know that I'm putting you on the spot here. What do you think Michigan State has to hold Ohio State to in terms of a point total this week? Just top of your head. What do you think? And Maz, you go first.
30.
Yeah, no, I was going to say 40. I think MSU could score with them. I really believe that they could score with them. Keep them to 40 and try to keep it as close as you can into that fourth quarter.
I think you got to keep them to 30. Yeah, I think realistically you have to keep them to 30, because to keep them to 30 and start to have them struggle, because they can score points with the best of them fast. Like, they score points fast. They keep your defense. They're killing your defense. Your defense is frustrated. They're dejected, and you can see it. Offense can't keep up. Now they're trying to keep up. They're trying to make the plays you are, but they're over-trying. They're trying too much. They're pressing. That's how you lose games with teams like this. That's how Oklahoma wins a lot of those games. It's because, you can score. Our defenses, they're whatever. But every time we score, we put more pressure on you to score and score and score, and eventually it starts to run out. You start not to be able to score. You start to put pressure on yourself. That's what's going to have to happen. Michigan State's going to just have to early on. I'm telling you, stunts at the line of scrimmage, then interior games. Games are when you run games with linebackers, defensive ends. You get them little swoops. You get in and outs. That's how you get to C.J. Stroud. That's how you get to the quarterback. Make him early on understand that this isn't going to be every other game you played this year.
Ohio State has scored 45, 35. Oregon kept them to 35. And, Oregon kept them to 28 and won that game. Then Ohio State put 41, 59, 52, 66, 54. Penn State held them to 33. 26 against Nebraska, and then 59 last week against Purdue. So keep them in the 20s and 30s, and you got a shot.
Hey, speaking of the Big Ten quickly, see what Wisconsin's doing?
Yeah.
That's no
They
gimme.
completely turned it
That's no
around.
gimme in the Big Ten championship game, too. Wisconsin will probably get there. They are playing their tails off. They have won 6 in a row. With a blowout this weekend, a blowout win over Northwestern, 35-7. Minnesota lost again. Iowa got them 27-22, so Minnesota's out. Not sure what happened to Indiana this year. Well, I do know what happened to Indiana this year. I mean, the top 2 quarterbacks got hurt. But Indiana, coming into the season, they were ranked like 16 or 17 in the country. A lot of people expected them to make a run, but their quarterback had some injuries to the quarterback in all that. I do want to ask you. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well, Wisconsin, you look at, I think the big thing was they didn't have a running game early on in the season, and Mertz was turning the ball over. That's been Wisconsin's Achilles heel. Shoot, since even before I went to school, they were all Brooks Bollinger. I remember him. That was a name. That's a blast from the past. Wisconsin has always turned the ball over at the quarterback position, be it interceptions, be it fumble, just not taking care of the football. And Mertz was doing the exact same early on in the year, and Malusi wasn't running the ball like they are now. Now, taking care of the ball a lot better. That defensive line is playing extremely well. Like their second level, the linebackers as well as the interior men, they're playing heck of some football, some defensive football for Wisconsin. Jim Leonard, defensive coordinator, former teammate of mine, really getting those guys going. You believe in them. You believe in what they're doing. Man, Wisconsin has been having a reemergence. It's interesting.
We'll see the college football playoff rankings when they come out tomorrow night. But in the meantime, the AP poll came out yesterday.
Poll?
I was going to say, is there a more meaningless poll now that they should stop doing it almost?
No. It's always fun to at least see the teams that just get in, teams receiving votes.
So if you're listening on the radio or just listening on a podcast instead of watching on YouTube, this week's top 25, and I'll just go through the top 10 for you. Georgia, Alabama, Cincy, Oregon. So Alabama surpassed Cincinnati here to get back to number 2. And then number 5, Ohio State, 6, Notre Dame, 7, Michigan State, 8, Michigan, 9, Oklahoma State, and 10, Ole Miss. Oklahoma fell to number 12 after losing for the first time this year. I told you they lose at least twice a year.
Did.
This is one. They'll probably lose to Oklahoma State now as well to get to that second one. But is there a more meaningless poll than the AP poll once these rankings come? Once the college football playoff rankings come out?
No, but I
do you like it?
Michigan should always love the AP poll, because if it wasn't for the AP poll, then they wouldn't have won the national championship in '97.
That's right.
Because of the coaches poll and
Tom Osborne
and Phil Fulmer on the coaches poll. But no, it's not. None of the polls matter. It's just it's kind of a guide early on in the year. It's like, hey, what's going on? This is where people are up until the college committee decides to get together and, shake everything up. But it doesn't matter.
It's for the people that are watching and, you're playing a top 25 team. That's what it's for. It's got some
But they don't
pride.
even but they don't even call them that anymore. Like Penn State was ranked number 23 in the AP poll this week, but
they don't
technically it's not a ranked team because Penn State was not ranked
in the playoff.
in the college football playoff ranking.
Right.
So Michigan doesn't even get credit for that.
Hey,
probably
is Kansas getting ranked this week?
They beat Texas.
Congrats for Kansas.
How about
Congrats.
that? Les Miles still their coach?
How about that?
Oh, no. Poor guy.
Charlie Weiss. Who's there now?
Hey, guys, the Tigers made a big signing today in free agency at 3:24. In about 12 minutes from now, we'll talk to Rogelio Castillo from the Tigers ML report, MotorCityBengals.com. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Tigers, baby. Who's next? That's what we want to know.
Hey,
Armani and Edwards.
Taylor Decker spoke out. We're going to have that coming up.
Love it.
Wait till you hear this.
Ooh.
Wait till you hear what Taylor Decker said just a few minutes ago.
Wow, okay.
Woodward Sports Network. Seems like this is the bottom line.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. You want to buy a car, they've got one for you. Inventory starting to come back in. And plus, not only the new cars, but pre-owned cars as well. Any make, any model on their pre-owned lot. And if buying a car isn't the right thing for you, you think you can get through the next couple of months with one car? Maybe you got somebody working from home and you can do that. You want some extra cash for the holidays? How about selling them your car? And it doesn't matter whether you own it or you lease it. Les Stanford is your authorized lease return center. Hey, maybe you're coming up on your miles and don't want to go over on that. You can give that car back to Les Stanford Chevrolet in Dearborn. Check them out online, lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com, or call them today, 313-565-6000, 313-565-6000. Tell them Ryan sent you in Woodward Sports. Les Stanford Chevrolet, find new roads. All right, Tigers with a big signing today, gang. We'll get to that momentarily, but I am hearing there is some pretty good Taylor Decker audio today from his media availability. Maz, do you want to set this up for us?
I'll set it up. All the boys and ladies at Allen Park today came back with Dave Burkett. I'll just read his. Taylor Decker, none too happy about people talking that he should have been traded or moved off of left tackle. Said he had a full spiral fracture of his finger and a whole bunch of metal in his hand now, plates and screws. He said he's happy to be part of an O-line he thinks can be very good for years to come. He says the negativity around my name has been bull blank.
Do we have the cut or no?
Yeah, we do.
Then why are we reading it?
I don't know. I just wanted to give it to you.
Okay.
Well, frankly, I feel like the narrative of negativity surrounding my name all year pretty much has been bullshit. I don't feel like it's been deserved. I do feel like people within the building, and I do feel like a lot of fans appreciate me and what I can do for this team. But yeah, the media pretty much all year has been pretty negative around me, and so I'm not going to act like I like that. I think it was bullshit. I've played a lot of football here, and I think I played well. So that's that. Well, I mean, people send me things. I don't go out there and I search for myself. And having to sit down and have a conversation with my dad that it'll be okay if something were like that to happen, even though it's not going to. And my friends calling me, worried. I'm like, I'm playing in the NFL. It's okay. But having my parents call, my parents be concerned and them upset, and my friends and my family and people in my neighborhood that I see outside when I'm walking my dogs to just have to deal with all that. When, as far as I understand, there was zero possibility of me not being a Detroit Lion this year. It's just really frustrating. And I feel like a lot of those articles are being written for clicks and being grandiose and over the top. And I don't understand, and I never will understand why there was so much negativity surrounding me and my name.
What the hell is he talking about?
I have no idea what he's talking about. What negativity was surrounding
him and his name? Maybe a couple analysts, and even on his show once or twice, where you're trying to figure out what can the Lions do to help themselves in the future. Like, if you're just having a fire sale, like, what are some things that can happen? You're like, oh, well, what if you trade Taylor Decker? Like, that's not pissing him off. That shouldn't piss him off. Do you say, well, like, okay, what can you do to help out Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes? What can we bring in some more picks or bring in some things? And you say, all right, well, what if we trade Taylor Decker? That means you still go to a good team and you get paid. What are you talking about? You got to explain to your family. Well, I had to explain to my family that I'm going to be okay and that, things are – yes, you're going to be okay. No, there's no negativity around your name.
I thought they didn't listen. I thought they didn't listen to us.
No, he doesn't listen. He was given. He was given the articles. He was
you
given
still
the
have
articles.
to read it.
We personally said on this show, and our guy Chad Johnson said it. He was one of the highest graded left tackles in the last 5 years. He hasn't made a Pro Bowl because there are better guys ahead of him. That's a tough position to make a Pro Bowl at. We like Taylor Decker. We didn't think you draft Penei Sewell and then move the poor guy to right tackle. He's supposed to be the best in the business.
Taylor Decker. Dude, what are you talking about? Negativity surrounding your name. Nobody's speaking negatively of you at all. I think the suggestion was that because the Lions are so freaking bad, like worse than any bad team in the NFL for about 20 years, you've got to look at this thing holistically and say, what assets do we have? Do we have anything that anybody wants? And the answer to that question is there might be 2 or 3 players on this team that other people want, and you are one of them. That is actually speaking positively of you, by the way. I think Detroit Lions fans, radio hosts, talk show hosts, whoever, look at this thing and say, could you turn Taylor Decker into 2 or 3 starters even down the road? That's not talking negatively about you. That's giving you all the credit in the world.
The other side of it is, who cares? Like, you guys just lost a tough game to Pittsburgh, and we thought that the offensive line played well. We thought you guys lost because of the kicking game. We should be talking about that. We shouldn't be talking about the negativity surrounding your name and trading you and getting rid of you. Like, I think this just has been a bad season for the Detroit Lions, and I think what happens is everything compounds on. Like, everything compounds on. It's like, oh, we're a bad team. Oh, here's another loss. Oh, here's a tie. Oh, they said they should trade me. Relax.
Listen, how many games did he lose at Ohio State in his career? Not many. He comes here, and how many has he won? Not many. I mean, the guy has probably just had a tough year. His finger's killing him. You heard him. He's got metal in his body. He's tired. He's broken down. And, I guess I'll go there for him. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's been a crap year, and it's a crap situation right now.
He's not the only one that has metal in his body. I've been in situations
I'm
where...
just saying he hasn't lost. He comes here, and he's not...
Dude, he's 28 years old. I mean,
get mad at that. What he said sounded like... I didn't like what that sounded like. It's okay to be mad you're losing. Like, you should be. You should be allowed to be vocal about that. But that I don't hear is, that's not vocalism about being loud, I'm losing. That's vocalism about some petty stuff that doesn't matter.
And that's actually a misrepresentation of what has actually been said over the last couple of months regarding Taylor Decker. Nobody is saying that Taylor Decker is a bad player. People are saying he's a good player and probably would have an easier time adapting to the right side because he's a veteran than this rookie Penei Sewell. Now, whether that's right or wrong or indifferent, does it even freaking matter? When people are filling 2, 4, 5, 6 hours on the radio a day, who gives a crap what people are saying? People got to write 3 or 4 inches on whatever it is on the right side of a paper column. You got to write something. Yeah. I mean, is it too much to even consider that Taylor Decker might be better on the right side, and you leave this kid? And by the way, when the Lions do get good eventually, and that's the hope, it's going to take 3 or 4 years minimum, by the way, because this team is so bad. Oh. Are you going to re-sign a 31-year-old Taylor Decker to a $90 million contract in 2024, 2025? Are you going to do that? I'm asking the question.
No, you're not.
You're not going to do that. So why wouldn't you trade Taylor Decker over the next couple of years or this year? Why wouldn't that be a consideration? You are doing yourself a disservice if you did not even have a conversation about trading Taylor Decker because you're so far off. It's not like you're this 5, 6, 7, 8-win team that is just a couple of pieces away. You have to tear this thing down completely. And if you have to use some of your assets, like a T.J. Hutchinson, a Frank Ragnow, or who's this guy's name?
Taylor Decker. What did Taylor Decker say?
What are you doing, dude?
What did Taylor Decker say during training camp? Taylor Decker asked the question. During training camp, Taylor Decker said, I am all in favor of whatever needs to happen with this Detroit Lions team to win.
That's what he
game.
said, Braylon.
This is exactly what he said.
He didn't mean it, though.
He says, I'm all in favor of this Detroit Lions team doing whatever they need to do to win games, however we need to do them. If the Detroit Lions thought that it was in their best interest to trade you, let's say this year, they trade you this year, and for you, they receive a 2 and a 3. Let's say they received a second round and a third rounder for you. They felt like that was in their best interest, and so they did so. With that being said, hush.
Seriously, man, what are you crying about?
Hey, you got a job. You playing National Football League. You're back. You're back from injury. Your offensive line looks like it's going to be really good in the future, especially once you get your Bash brother Ragnar back in the off season. Like, just calm down. Like, you guys are the bright spot now. I don't need you crying.
Right. Taylor Decker seems like he's me watching a Michigan football game with a down.
Maybe scared of Michigan State.
Right. You got something real quick, Maz?
I'm just saying that's becoming a real A-plus offensive line, and you don't even have your center back yet.
Right.
I mean,
but why is he crying?
Well, he's frustrated.
Right. It's like my Twitter.
Give him a break.
Hey, guys, we're talking some Tigers baseball. We'll do it next with our friend Rogelio Castillo, MotorCityBengals.com, Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
You know the best thing about Gypsy Vodka? It's a couple things.
Well,
Ryan.
how much time you got, Braylon?
I know, right? We can sit down and talk about this for a minute. The first thing is just look at the bottle. If you guys are watching at home, if you guys are viewing us right now, oh my God, look at that bottle. Look at
gorgeous.
Look at the architect. Look at design. Look at the prism of the glass, man. Looks really dope. The artwork is good too. Not to mention, it's actually good vodka as well. Gypsy is gluten-free and corn distilled 6 times with artesian spring water. Check that out, man. Gluten-free,
artesian,
corn distilled 6 times, and artesian infused artesian spring water. Support local brothers here from Michigan, Adam and Mike, Michigan State guys. Try a bottle today. Ask for Gypsy.
Love that. How about that? Gonna need some Gypsy vodka to celebrate the signing of the new Tigers left-handed pitcher, right in the prime of his career, Eduardo Rodriguez, a 5-year, $77 million deal. He comes to Detroit from Boston. Maz, this is a really, really big signing for Detroit. Kind of solidifies the rotation. They may not be done yet as far as signing a starter either.
I know. It's going to be great, man. It's a good signing. They're the first team to make a splash already. This guy was wanted by Toronto, the Blue Jays. Red Sox wanted him, but the Tigers offered him, and he's coming on over.
So, speaking of coming on over, Braylon, let's bring him in. Our friend Rogelio Castillo. You can follow him on Twitter at TigersML Report, Motor City Bengals. Rogelio, how are you, my friend?
Good. How are you guys doing? Can you guys hear me?
Absolutely perfect.
Loud and clear.
So the first thing go ahead, Rogelio. My bad.
I was just gonna say, Braylon. Shout out Catholic High School love, Cabrini, Bishop Callagher. You guys smoked us 50-6. My brother was cornerback, and you totally schooled him, and I was laughing because it's just the way you guys dominated. So shout out. Sorry.
I don't know, man. Much love to the Catholic League.
He's lucky he didn't play Grosse Pointe South that year. I would have probably taken him to the woodshed.
He would have shut him down.
Keep chopping, right?
This is before they start making players play unaggressive. This is when I was legitimately lining up at defensive end and then going to play wideout. So you didn't want anything.
Oh man,
no smoke.
All right, we'll get to it now. We'll talk about my playing days another time.
No, we won't.
Rogelio, I don't know if this was an unexpected signing for Detroit, but I haven't heard his name really kind of talked about. So when I got this news today, and you look this guy up, I mean, he's a hell of a signing.
Yeah, I mean, I did an article about this on Saturday, and I did like a video, like a 45-second review of him. And the Tigers were interested in him. Whether or not he was going to get him, I wasn't sure because of his relationship with Boston. But then, as I believe it was John Morosi mentioned, he has a good relationship with assistant pitching coach Juan Nieves, and I think that helped out. But I mean, I was shocked. I mean, it was like you start off the Monday, you have the Lions game from yesterday, and then the heart attack game on Saturday with Michigan. So it's just like it was a great way to start the week.
Talking to Rogelio Castillo at Tigers ML Report, MotorCityBengals.com. What do you think this does for the Tigers starting pitching staff moving forward? Because, you know, Matt Boyd you can't count on. Spencer Turnbull is out. Do you think they'll add another veteran arm in addition to Eduardo Rodriguez?
I think so. I mean, we talked about this earlier. They might go back and re-sign Willie Peralta for like a fifth starter position. I mean, I would love to see John Gray come here. But what this does, it gives the Tigers an innings eater. In 2019, he threw 203 innings, and that hasn't happened in Tigers rotation in quite some time. I think Matthew Boyd being the last pitcher a few years ago, but it gives the young guys a veteran to go to with, Spencer Trimble's not going to pitch next year. The uncertainty of lack of minor league depth at the moment right now. Ty Ben's going to be a year away. We don't know what's going to happen with Jackson Jobe. So this gives them an opportunity to bridge until the minor leagues can produce, and getting another starter like John Gray would be great. But again, we don't know how much they're going to spend, but for a fact they're going to have to get a shortstop to give them good defense.
That's what I was going to go to now, because the word on the street. Yeah. Oh, we already got him. It's a lock. Carlos Correa. He's got the tiger tattoo. He had a little tiger on his Instagram, on his Twitter. What's your take? Is he coming or not?
Honestly, I don't want to be a buzzkill, but I just think that I don't think it's going to happen, only because, I saw an interview with him in Spanish where he talked about liking pinstripes. I want him to come here, don't get me wrong, but a guy like Trevor Story is just good enough. I think Trevor Story would be a good fit here for Detroit as well. But, I know Tiger fans are going to throw stuff at me, but it's fine. I'm a realistic person, and I love him to come here, and if he does, then I'm wrong, and life goes on.
All right, so now you got Eduardo here. You got Eduardo Rodriguez. Not only do you strengthen your own staff, but you weaken Boston. Boston's got to go out and fill that position. Toronto wanted him. They had Robbie Ray. Where do you think Robbie Ray lands? Does he come back here?
I don't think so, because the money he's going to be asking for, and I don't know, again, what the flexibility of the Tigers' payroll is going to be. They still have to sign a shortstop. It would be great if they signed an outfielder, because they still need a veteran bat out there that's going to help them get some power to the lineup. But Robbie Ray would be great, and he was here for half a season, and all of a sudden you see him. He's just a strikeout machine in Toronto. But I could see a team like Boston and New York going after him hard, and the Yankees really need pitching, and so I could see the Yankees signing Ray.
Talking to Rogelio Castillo, MotorCityBengals.com. Rogelio, I wanted to get back to this Correa situation, because last week, I agree with you. I don't believe the Tigers are going to pull the trigger on a $325 million 10-year contract for Carlos Correa, and I think that's okay. I don't want to say it's not going to happen, but I don't believe it's going to happen. What do you think Tigers fans will think if they don't? Because this seems like it's been the storyline for the better part of the last 3 months. Just this natural tie that Correa, because he used to play for A.J. Hinch, is going to walk here to Detroit. Do you think not only they'll be disappointed, but do you think they'll almost have a reaction towards Chris Ilitch and Al Avila about this? Because it may be the fiscally responsible thing to do, by the way, too, is not be on the hook for a 10-year contract.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if they don't get any shortstops, then yes, I think they'll be a little upset. But if you get somebody like Andrew Simmons or a lower tier shortstop, the big after the big shortstops, it's kind of a drop off. So for me, if they don't get a big trade or a big name, I think Tiger fans should be disappointed a little bit. But in reality, I saw a story today that there's talk about extending catcher Tucker Bearhart. And again, the Tigers were very aggressive about that. I think Tigers fans are just happy they're doing something versus, okay, we're going to get a bargain basement free agent like Matt Moore. He's out after one start, and then that's it. And I think Tiger fans are happy, but I think, again, adding a shortstop would just be the chef's kiss, honestly.
Hey, Aurelio, let me ask you, what does success look like in terms of the next two pickups for the Detroit Tigers in terms of free agent acquisitions? What do the best two possibilities look for you? Because it doesn't have to be Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa could come here and take up too much cap. That's but too much money. 10 years, $300 million. We've done with those deals before. What does success look like without necessarily spending $300 for one outfielder and then one shortstop?
Well, if they get somebody like Trevor Story, for example, you look at a defense last year that from shortstop they had a -6 defensive run saved. So if they get that, if they get a shortstop that's a defensive upgrade, that just helps out the Rodriguez signing because it gives somebody, and Rodriguez, outside of being a strikeout pitcher, is a really good ground ball pitcher. So I think if the Tigers are fiscally responsible, get that defensive upgraded shortstop, get another bat out there, I think it can be done in a fiscally responsible way, so the Tigers are not re-tearing or rebuilding in 4 or 5 years. They're a competitive team, and they got some young talent on the way, Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson, that could complement that.
Hey, you and I have watched a lot of games together this year at Comerica, Rogelio, and you know the Miners better than anyone I know. And next year, is Torkelson up here? Is Riley Green up here on opening day?
That's a tough question to answer, but because there's such an adjustment from AAA to the MLB, because Toledo's been using different balls. You see the AAA numbers are out of hand. But I think Riley Green has a good shot to make it his ball club opening day because he can play all three positions. In the last 2 months at Toledo, or last month he was there, in Toledo, he started in left field and seen some time in center field. Spencer Torkelson, I think maybe in the summer he'll come up. I know a lot of Tiger fans, as soon as you hit a home run on our Tiger Minor Report Twitter account, everyone's like, bring him up. But again, it's not that easy. But I think Torkelson will be here summertime. Riley Green has a really good chance to make it the ball club in spring.
Great stuff, Rogelio Castillo. Follow him on Twitter at TigersML Report, and of course, MotorCityBengals.com. Rogelio, thanks so much, and hopefully, when the Tigers make a signing of a big splash, free agent shortstop, we'll get you back. All right.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. Thanks so much for your time.
Appreciate that Catholic love right there.
There you go.
Oh man, I'm telling you, man, it was just schooling my brother, because my little brother was always such a big athlete, and just you schooling him like that.
CHSA, baby. Catholic High School Association.
That's great.
See you later, Ron.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Sounds good. Yeah, but that's
got a lot of wisdom.
Just before we move on, it's something just telling me that they're not going to sign Correa, and I think that's okay.
It's picking up steam again, man.
From who? What?
The Twitter people.
Okay, fine.
The Twitter people.
Where's the steam? I hope so. Look, I hope to God I'm wrong on that because I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Here's a good question. Okay, now if you're delved into the baseball world, you know who Carlos Correa is. If you're really delved in, you really know who he is. You know how good he is. You know what he's done in the postseason. But for the outside looking in, 10 years, $300 million? Like 10 years, do we need to be on the hook for an individual? Is he going to bring that much to the Detroit Tigers organization?
No.
Like, is he going to bring that?
Yes, he is.
He might be.
He'll bring cachet, man.
Listen, with the wisdom that I have, the little bit of wisdom that I have, I don't know if he brings in the type of star power like if you're used to at 10 for 300. 10 for 300, I'm thinking A-Rod. 10 for 300, I'm thinking Prince. 10 for 300, I'm thinking Miggy. 10 for 300, I'm thinking Verlander. Like 10 for 3, that's the wisdom that I have. That's what I'm thinking. Carlos Correa is a really good player, tends to pick it up in the postseason. But I don't know about 10 for 300. Like 10 for 300, you can get 2
What about 10 for 325, Braylon? We'll be back. Hermione and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. You get more players than that. You can get 3 players, $300 million.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Hi, gang. I want to tell you about Guardian Alarm, a good defense on and off the field that helps you feel secure. A good defense beats a good offense any day of the week and twice on Sundays. Don't you want to be the championship defender of your home? You look good in front of your wife and kids. You got that black and gold sign out there, like Guardian Alarm. You know what that black and gold says?
What does it say?
Stay out.
It says
Guardian
stay
Alarm
out.
has been your local security experts for over 90 years. Do you know why they've been in business for over 90 years? Because they do everything for you. 24/7 local monitoring, convenient features that let you check in on your home, control your lights, your temperatures, detect smoke, carbon monoxide, even going to let you lock and unlock your doors. All you have to do is make one simple call to make your family feel safe. Are you ready? Get out of here. That number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security expert.
Get away.
Get out of here. Stay out. Go.
I think Tuck's already here, Alex.
Oh, he's on his way.
Tuck going.
Would you knock it off in there, Fish? Where's Tuck going, Fish? Answer me. Where's Tuck going?
Well, he's
Is he
here.
going to the cigar shop?
No, he's at Michigan State. He's here.
He's going to get his cigar shop. He's getting ready for Saturday.
Yeah, he may go to USC or LSU, wherever he wants to go. He shouldn't. He should stay at Michigan State because they're doing pretty good.
Silence,
now,
Fish.
Yes, sir.
They're doing good now. Naylor won't be here next year. Reed won't be here next year. Thorne won't be here.
Okay.
Thorne will be here, Brandon.
I'm cracking jokes.
Okay.
I'm messing with you. I was going to deplete the whole
What do
team.
you got, man?
Hey, Fish, tell our winner, Devin Matthew, how to get in touch with you. He's our Turkey Games qualifier today.
Ooh, Turkey
Meet him at
Games.
Speedway.
I will not be there.
Speedway.
I will not be there, so good luck with that. TurkeyGames2021@gmail.com.
Turkey
There you
Games
go.
2021.
And now there's a million Devin
At Gmail.
Matthews out there. I'm Devin Matthews.
I'm Devin Matthews.
Guys, I want to get to Monday Night Football tonight. We're going to save our NFL recap for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll go through the NFL. We'll do it tomorrow. But the Rams at the 49ers tonight. Odell Beckham Jr. will make his debut. Also, Von Miller expected to play in this one. The Rams are a 3.5-point favorite over the 49ers. San Francisco has lost 8 straight home games, but 4 straight wins against the Los Angeles Rams.
Go Niners.
What are you guys thinking about tonight's game?
It's all gonna be. It's an Odell Beckham show. It's an Odell Beckham show. It's an OBJ show. Robert Woods goes down. This is right on time. You don't want this to happen because they would have been a very nice trio, but they're still a heck of a duo with Cooper Kupp the way he's played this year. Odell Beckham is waiting for his chance. Everybody's wondering, everybody's speculating on how the game is going to play out with Odell Beckham. And so, Matt Stafford's going to have to try to force the ball to him. And he's going to be this or that in the huddle. Football is an easy game. It's terminology. Terminology doesn't change. Terminology does not change from college to the NFL to whatever team you go to. Like little words you switch up from here and there. He'll be perfectly fine. He's happening to play his first game with a veteran quarterback in Matt Stafford, who's one of the league leaders in terms of the MVP race right now. He's only lost 1 game this year. And you look at you just look at what they're doing with the Rams. You look at what they have. It's set up perfect for Odell Beckham to have this coming out party. It's set up so beautiful for him to have a coming-out party with Matt Stafford, with his boy Von Miller, with his boy Aaron Donald. You saw they really wanted him there. Everybody was FaceTiming and tweeted. I've been in these situations before where you're just happy to get out. You're happy. You're so happy. And then Matt Stafford can even tell him what the play is. If there's a play they're running that he might have forgot because he's still new to the system. Hey, Odell, before you go out there, that's a post route. Hey, Odell, you come in on this one. You run the slant route. The game isn't that difficult. Be prepared for Odell to have a coming up party.
I just, for some reason, I don't think he's going to strike it big like you think he is. I think he's just going to be okay. I think Van Jefferson's going to be taking a lot of these balls that Robert Woods was getting, and Cooper Kupp is going to get his 10 catches a game.
Speaking of coming out parties, getting traded on a Wednesday and having to play on Monday Night Football that following Monday. We have a clip over here, if you will.
Yeah, we do.
Big Alex might have us set up on some clip. This is 2009. I got traded from Cleveland to Miami on a Wednesday, and the next game was Monday Night Football. There it is, baby. First touchdown with the with the Jets. Jets, Jets.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So you got traded on a Wednesday, played for the Jets in Miami on Monday Night Football, and caught a touchdown pass.
There was another one he's supposed to put that on there too, but
you caught 2 that game?
Yeah.
Here it is. Oh,
yeah.
Never mind.
So, but going into that, the reason why we brought that up is going into that week, young quarterback Mark Sanchez trying to figure out the offense. We were a run-heavy offense. Like we led the league in the year.
LT.
No, not that one. That was Thomas Jones.
Okay.
Here you go, right here. A little third and 22.
Get it! Into the end zone.
Third and
Touchdown.
22 for the touchdown.
Jets.
How you do that,
That's
man?
why they traded for you right there.
That's actually what he said in that comment.
Go
too.
up and get it.
Your boy Mike Tirico was on the call.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Gruden, too?
That's 6 all day.
Was Gruden with him?
Yeah, he was. He was on the call.
What did Gruden say about you?
Yeah, it's
Good
a nice
player.
catch right there.
Good player.
Win.
Fans team.
It's a nice catch right there. It's how you want to get it, man.
Went
Yeah,
up to
man.
the apex and
Yeah,
got
man.
the football at its highest point.
Nah, but going back to what I was saying is they can condense the game. You can make it nice and easy. I think Odell Beckham has been to the top. He's been to the bottom. He's been in the middle. He's floated around. I think he is excited about the opportunity. Like he's playing. Same thing we saw.
He'll play his best game
Same
tonight.
thing we saw with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford went out to the West Coast. The air seemed a little bit better. Seemed he was smiling a little bit more. Seems the same was for Odell. Von Miller is one of his best friends in the world. Now he's playing on the same team with him. He's playing in an arena. That when I don't say arena, I'm not talking about the SoFi. I mean metaphorically. Like he's playing in an arena. Like it's comfort. He lives in LA in the off season. Like he's home. This is what he wants to do. He wants to go into acting in Hollywood. Everything is set up for him to have the next run of his life. I'm telling you, I think he's going to have
I agree with you. I think he's going to have a big game tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe he can act like a wide receiver tonight.
Oh, stop it, Maz. Jesus.
I mean, what happened with Cleveland? Yesterday when Odell wasn't there.
What's wrong with you? Why do you hate
He just doesn't
Odell
like
Beckham?
no, because he doesn't
Because
like
he's a punk. He punked on the Giants. That's why.
How did he punk
And
on
he
the Giants?
punked on the
Quit on
Browns.
him.
Hold on, let me ask you this question, because I was.
Don't ask me. You know what he did.
No. Say it. I want you to bring
He
it up.
did on the playoff run. He went out and he partied.
So excuse me, a 24-year-old made a mistake.
Yeah, he's not a pro.
He made a mistake at 24. You know how many pros that you love now grew into what they did? A ton of them. He made a mistake, and you're mad at that?
Cleveland.
How did he crap the bed? They don't give him the ball, man.
Maybe he wasn't open. His father thought he was open.
His father put a highlight tape. We all saw that he was open.
If he was open, he would have gotten the ball.
No, he wasn't.
If he was
open.
a good teammate, he would have gotten the ball. He would have stayed there. If he was a good teammate, his team would have showed up at his Halloween party.
Oh, you're
None of them
ridiculous
showed
now.
up.
You're ridiculous.
No one likes him.
At the end of the day, you make these with no facts. You make these statements
It's not
with
a
no.
fact. That's a fact.
It isn't a fact. So what? He went to Miami in the offseason. In a bye week. He went there, 24 years old.
I love getting you
and
going.
you still hold him to that.
He's just doing
Nah, he
this
does that
to
bullshit
you.
on purpose.
He's just doing that to you.
He does that BS on purpose. He's mad at Odell. It's nothing to talk about.
Hey, come
He's
on.
not a punk. You're a punk.
Stop it now, Maz. You got the Mannings tonight too, and on the
I can't
Manning
wait for the
list,
jinx.
on the Manning list tonight, they got Al Michaels, Phil Mickelson, Draymond Green, Phil Rivers. I guess this. How do you do the jinx with Al Michaels?
He loses his voice. He can't do next week's Sunday night game.
COVID.
Oh, See ya,
that's
Al.
not. You can't be doing that.
Al's gone for next week, guaranteed.
How do you call Odell a punk, but you don't call Lawrence Taylor a punk that was doing coke at halftime?
Lawrence Taylor's a Hall of Famer, bro.
See, thank you.
He's the greatest player
He
who
was
ever
doing coke at halftime. He was missing games to go party. Like, what
He
are you
didn't miss
talking
any
about?
games.
Exactly. He was legitimately doing things at halftime, transactions, all type of stuff. I don't. No. You
He
don't
could
have
have
news
played
for me.
drunk. He still sacked the guy 3 times.
Okay, good. Odell had to play with Eli Manning.
They changed the game for Lawrence Taylor.
I understand that, but don't call somebody
Eli
a punk.
Manning's a 2-time Super Bowl winner.
Don't call somebody a punk that made a mistake at 24 years old. Oh, you holding on stuff? What did you do at 24? Let's bring that up.
I was clean.
Bullshit.
Super clean.
Whatever.
We got 2. We gotta just clean up there before we go to the radio. We got 2 there. We gotta clean up before we go to the radio. You got a winner for the people tonight, Braylon. Monday night, big night.
Yeah, I think the Rams are gonna win. I think the Rams win. I think the Rams win big. I just not sold on the 49ers. I don't like the 49ers. I don't like what they're doing. I think Odell will have a big game. Not necessarily a 170 game or nothing like that, but he'll have nice 115, 2 touchdowns, something like that.
Take it, Maz. You got a winner for the people?
Yeah, Rams are going to win this game. I've been betting the 49ers every week. They can't win this game.
No.
They can't.
Be like a 41-14 out of you?
No. It's going to be close. 3-point game.
Well,
Rams
then
will
you
win
got the
it.
Rams. Then you got
What's the spread?
3.5.
Okay. I'll take a 4-point win for the Rams. 4-point win and bet the over. And bet the under for OBJ's catches.
Let's get to a break. We're going to take the mic. We're going to cut the mic from Maz today. He's just trying to be an instigator. Armani and Edwards.
Wolverines Sports Network, the bottom line.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double Rolex safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey, gang, welcome back to Woodward Sports Network. Thank you for watching on YouTube. And, of course, you can see Morningwood 8 to 10, Big D Energy from 11 to 1, and then us, the bottom line, from 2 until 4. And, of course, anytime, 24/7, right there on YouTube or anywhere where you get your podcast. We're also on 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 HD2 FM. We are on from 6 to 8:30 on those 3 radio stations. We certainly appreciate everybody tuning in, giving us a chance. Sports talk in Detroit.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate growing. And like we said, we've talked about this. We've extended our growth because you guys believe in us, because you guys are here, because you give us the comments, the good, the bad, the ugly, you give it to us honest. So we try to do the same for you. So I'm excited, man. Get a chance to talk about sports. It's not a job. It's fun.
There you go. And we also have Tom Mazaway here. We don't know for how much longer.
Bray, I want to apologize for busting your chops.
Nah, it's no need to apologize.
Okay.
We're having fun. Like I just don't understand how some people get called punks at 24 when they make a mistake and you never
man.
look back.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
So.
By the way,
I'm an NFL junkie, man.
I feel
okay.
it.
I love the NFL. I love everyone in the NFL.
By the way, a little bit of breaking news in the NHL tonight. 11 COVID cases with the Ottawa Senators. Their game tonight at New Jersey has been postponed. 100% vaccination rate.
Don't bring that
on the
stuff
Ottawa
to Jersey.
Senators.
Ooh, get out of here, Sens.
Man, oh man.
Go back to Ottawa.
So we want to get that in there. Maz, bottom line videos of the day.
Here we go.
Hey, today in 2010, great game between the Jags with David Garrard at quarterback against the Texans, who were pretty good back then. But this all because we're playing this because Gus is on the call.
Garrard steps up.
Oh, so good.
Mike Sims Walker knocked down. Oh, he caught it! Unbelievable! Mike Thomas touchdown Jags!
Oh my God, that is so good.
50 yards! Whoa!
Listen to him.
That is so good.
Go, Gus. Go, Gus. Oh, how good
I
is
forgot
that?
about
Huh?
David Garrard.
Best thing David Garrard ever did was a little short dead leg against the Steelers in the playoffs.
Jags were good back then.
They're all right.
They're all right.
All right.
They're still playing good, huh? They're playing hard for
They play you
for
tough.
Uncle Herb.
Yeah, they play tough.
They were in the AFC Championship, what?
A couple times.
Twice, right?
3 years ago.
Yeah. Who was their quarterback then?
Foles? No, not for
Blake
Bortles.
Bortles.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yes, sir.
I was going to say
They got
Mark
Foles
Brunell.
next year.
Hey, let's take you to last night. Last night, Steph Curry putting on a show just for the heck of it. They lost the game, but he still put on a show.
Bro, that's the streak up.
Final 3 seconds. Charlotte with the first. Curry to end the third. Banked it in!
Oh,
He
back
banked it in,
home.
and it's going to count.
Isn't that something? He also had a behind-the-back pass I didn't put in here, but just not looking. He's facing the other basket, throws it back over his head for a layup for his team. I mean, the guy, he's a stud.
Unbelievable.
I love watching this guy.
People think that stuff comes overnight or that he was blessed to be able to shoot like that. Let me tell you a story. No, he wasn't. My cousin my cousin Brandon Kearney, he was at Michigan State, and my father reached out to Dale Curry trying to figure out, how did you get Dale so good at shooting? Like, what was Dale? I mean, what was Steph doing? What was Seth doing? He said, well, Seth wouldn't do as much as Steph, but what Steph would do, he legitimately sent us Steph's shooting, his practice, his shooting chart for his shooting drills that he would do every day. And this is starting when Steph was like 8, 9 years old. It's ridiculous how much work this man put in. Like 8, 9 years old. There's a reason why he's the best shooter ever, because he put in all that work. Dale says Seth had the same opportunity. Said Seth didn't put in the same work as Steph, and you see it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
8, 9 years old. Like, this is, people got to get the backstory so you can appreciate it more. Like, this isn't something he discovered in high school or he just started pulling in.
How did Davidson how did he go to Davidson?
Probably the size.
Small, because he wasn't, and he didn't play point guard at first. Like, he was playing 2 guard. He was just shooting. So,
he's the greatest shooter in NBA history.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bar none.
For sure. No doubt.
Unbelievable. Let me continue. Let's go to our old friend O.J. Simpson on the prowl this weekend.
Juice.
Check O.J. Simpson trying to mac on this lady here. Check what she does. Check what she does.
What does she do?
Watch.
Juice
O.J.'s going to try to give her a kiss. Watch. Nope. Oh, look at the face she makes.
Oh,
O.J.
man.
trying to kiss her.
Get it, O.J.
No.
I ain't mad at OJ.
Here we go.
No.
Here we go. It's good. Look at that.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh, get out of there, Juice.
Man, poor guy. I'll tell you, though, I don't blame him.
I mean, what'd you want him to do? Like, oh, yeah, OJ.
And then she looks at him and, like, kind of, she, like, looking at him real close.
She looked at him like, I know what you did.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know what you did last summer.
So O.J. was out on the prowl. Let me give you a little hockey.
OJ.
We don't do enough hockey here. Let's take you back 25 years ago yesterday. This was a goalie-on-goalie fight. Ron Hextall of the Flyers against Felix Potvin of the Maple Leafs. Potvin didn't want anything to do with this fight, by the way.
No,
but
he didn't.
Hextall wanted it. Check him flying down the ice here. Look at this.
Man. Give me this mask. Give me this mask. Give me this helmet.
Oh,
give me this helmet. Get this smoke.
Oh, look at that.
Get this smoke. Come here.
Look at that.
Yeah. Come here. You wanted it. You asked for it. You wanted it.
Oh, wow. Pulled the jersey over his head and everything.
Isn't this sweet?
So good.
They're going to be gassed soon. Watch them get gassed. Look at the rock'em sock'em robots. Look at them.
Gassed.
What, they got 35 pounds of equipment on?
And more than that.
Oh,
That's
man.
great.
And that'll wrap it up.
That's funny.
Hey, Saturday night I went to the Red Wing game. Darren McCarty invited me to the game. So I got to hang out with D-Mac and some of his friends. I tell you, Little Caesars Arena puts on a show. It was a great... First of all, the game was great. They beat the Canadians in overtime. Check this goal out by Dylan Larkin. It was the second of the night. Look at this angle Dylan Larkin scores at.
Look out here. Larkin's got a break. With Lucas. With a forward back to Raymond. In on goal. Just missed. Scores! He's done it from the same place twice. And the
goal line.
He's behind the goal line and gets that goal in.
How does that happen?
He's a stud.
Studley.
I'm glad to see that my money didn't go to waste for that Dylan Larkin jersey purchase
No,
last year.
you did well, man.
All right, it was a good jersey purchase.
Great.
Appreciate that, Ronnie.
Yeah, baby.
So the Red Wings playing good hockey. They're putting on a great show at Little Caesars Arena. You got the guy on the organ, Lance. Lance is his first name. I mean, it's such a fun atmosphere. Kids were there. Their families were there. I just highly recommend getting down to the Little Caesars Arena again because it's back alive. And Pistons played it tonight. They played the Kings.
Yeah.
Did you see Cade the other night?
I did not.
Check this. He switches the hands for the game winner here. Scoop and score.
90 seconds to play. Cunningham off the dribble, left hand. Cade.
I got to tell you, that game was entertaining the other night.
Against the Raptors.
I'm starting to have some questions about the Pistons lately.
Like what?
Like, they're not very good.
No.
They're not very good at all. In fact, they're a lot worse than I thought they were going to be. And I thought they were going to be bad.
But don't forget, Cade hasn't played with them up till just a couple of days ago.
I understand. They're a real boring basketball team. That game the other night, very good.
Yeah.
But that's like one of 10 games where they've played where you're like, I want to fall asleep when I watch them.
Well, it's early basketball in November.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
it's NBA
I'm just
early
saying,
basketball.
Very early season
I get it.
indication.
It's much more fun to watch Steph Curry. I get it. There's your comparison. By the way, thanks to Bally Sports Detroit for those cuts.
Yeah, I think also what Ryan is saying is the Pistons don't have any. They don't have any rhythm. And they don't have any like congruency. Like when you watch it just looks very choppy. It looks choppy. You might get a layup. You might get this point. Like it just doesn't seem like when you watch. one of the well-oiled machine works. It doesn't have to be like, even I'll give you an example. Look at the Hornets. Hornets are a young team, but they're a well-oiled machine. Like you see Melo Ball control the point. He goes to Bridges from time to time, the small forward. They score baskets in bunches, and it just looks like it's supposed to look. I think that's what you mean, kind of.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is fun. Tomorrow we'll do it again. Bray, take us out of here.
Man, I'm just happy to be back in, man. Wisdom teeth are gone. I am back to the flow of things. We're talking about Michigan State and Ohio State a lot this weekend. That will be fun. How will C.J. Stroud play? How will Peyton Thorne? What will that defensive line look like trying to get C.J. Stroud riled up? That's going to be a good one for us, man. But just happy to be back in the studio. Maz, I love you.
Love you, man. Stan's in tomorrow.
You know it's all fun. We're going to see what Big Stan's talking about.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Thanks, Brad.
Fish, Alex, love you guys,
Braylon,
man.
let's take him out of here and just beat the crap out of him.
Don't worry about it. I'm taking the jacket off. I'm going to drop this
I love that Oilers jacket, by the way.
Hey, man, this is old school, man. Got this from Big
Thanks,
Stan.
Dad.
Ooh, Edmonton Oilers?
No.
Shut up. You didn't ruin it, man.
Shut your mic off,
Reminding
Fish.
Edwards, Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. Turn his mic off.
How about those Wolverines? If that's not good, I don't know what is.